We'll put it like that.
Nice.
What's it like? I was actually there in attendance in Cleveland for Coe's first career NFL touchdown, which was awesome. And,
Awesome.
It was a great game. You could hear me on camera. I was just screaming, "Say it ain't so, Coe! Say it ain't so!" Sadly, from there, the game kind of went off the rails a little. That was the last high moment of that game, but it was a great game. Overtime loss, fun time.
Yeah.
But how was that moment for you? Seeing the first, whether it was on TV, in person, wherever you were, seeing his first NFL touchdown. How was that?
Well, dude, I mean, we were at home because it was a away game. We don't travel to a lot of the away games because we can get into that later. But, to watch that and to think I wished I was there live. So to have your video was so cool. And just that, man, this is so cool. I mean, that was so cool for us. Catching it from Tom Brady, right? Like, he's got the ball yet. First NFL touchdown means a lot, right? I mean, as a dad, that's just so cool to see. And it was fun to watch. And, it didn't have the outcome we wanted, but still the same. What a memory! What a memory to have, right? So,
and honestly,
cool.
those. One of the best guests ever, the Buccateers in the house tonight. You guys hear him on Tampa radio all the time. He's one of the best in the business. My favorite personal in the business. That's why I'm elated tonight. Growing up in the Chicago area, you're used to sports radio. That's what gets me through the day. So this man does help get me through the day, I will say, with the Pat and Aaron show at work. Nothing like it. So it's incredible. It looks like we got Stunna bumbling in. I'm Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like you got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
And he was trying to pull me in big time. And then I was like, hey, nothing's happened with Indianapolis yet. Like, I really want to give Indy a chance. And then also I talked to Cody Gruden, once he took over Rich McCann's still like, but look, I was like, y'all just give me the opportunity to explore free agency, see what's going on, and then kind of make us do it.
All right, everyone, you are tuned into the Buccateers of wide receiver Kalen Geiger, and we are about to have a great pod. This is the Buccateers. You're tapped in, and here we go. Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell is everybody? It's been a while since we had the crew back. Well, only 1 week, but it feels like a while because a lot of stuff is happening around the National Football League, around your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Seems like the search might be over. Seems like Greg Allman may have hinted to these big-time coaching searches being over. We got 4 NFL playoff games, a college football championship, a Buccaneer jumping on the show this Monday, and so much more to dive into. It's going to be a lot of fun here on the Buccateers podcast, of course, with the 2 great co-hosts of the program, the great Zack Johnson in the house. Zack, sorry about the Steelers, brother. I was pulling for them. They hung in there. It was about midway through the fourth quarter, and the wheels fell off. It seems like you called it on the show, man. The edges against the tackles just was a mismatch.
Yeah, it's crazy. My wife fell asleep when it was 7-6 in the fourth quarter, and then when she woke up on Tuesday morning, she was like, "What the hell happened?" Is it just like you said, man? The wheels fell off that thing at a certain point. But they played well, and now he's got to go through a whole regime change there as far as coaching. So that's the NFL, though. Changes in a minute.
And that it's crazy with Pittsburgh, right? We were talking about it on the show. Would he stay? Would he go? Tomlin, and it ends up that it was his decision. Well, at least seemingly his decision. That he gave one of those Game of Thrones speech. He said, "I am not your leader right now. I cannot do this properly." And Mike Tomlin this year will be in the broadcast booth, but next year he'll be a hot name to watch as the Bruce Arians type thing, the Sean Payton type thing, kind of common amongst these not older, right? But like the older wave head coaches, it's kind of common. So we'll see what happens. And we'll talk about the Bucs coaching search. Could he tie in down the road? J-Lo, how the hell you doing, brother? Hope all is well with you, my friend. Been a while.
Yeah, been a while. Great to be back, chatting it up with you guys. A lot happened this week, and I'm ready to get going.
The Godfather. Good morning, men. Go Bears as he's bearing down from Chicago. I hope I'm not a Rams guy. I don't like the Rams. I don't think Zack likes the Rams. I don't think J-Lo likes the Rams either. We have a bad history with the Rams. And I'll tell you what, fellas, my pops and I started watching the Raise the Flags documentaries. Our guy Bucs Nation is tuning in, saying happy Saturday. Hope everyone is well. My guys, J-Lo. So glad to have Bucs Nation in the house. Glad to have the Godfather in the house. But Zack, I don't know if you started watching the documentary of Raise the Flags, but fills my football void a little bit. Right? No Bucs ball around. I waited for the off season. Now they're on an episode or two, and I'm like, okay, I could rejuvenate some Bucs football juices just a little bit. And B, it is great. The behind the scenes footages, the stories you hear. I'm only on episode 5 right now, so I'm only about 4 episodes through. But right now, if you're itching for Bucs ball, Zack, you miss Bucs football, go watch this. It has our friend Scott Reynolds in it. It has Rick Stroud in it. It has Scott Smith in it. So it's more than just the Bucs players too, right? They have non-Buc coaches and players in it too. So Zack, they did a really great job, and I'll give Amazon their kudos for putting this thing together so far.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm a binge watcher, man. I wish I could wait and do a 1 or 2 here, but I'm not built that way, man. So when a Netflix series drops and it does like weekly, it just irritates me. I got to watch it all as quickly as possible. So yeah, I watched it. It is so well done. You get to hear a lot of things that you kind of maybe speculated on for years, and now you're kind of getting that, it's kind of being put out there. So yeah, it's really good. Very well done, and it just now would be a great time to watch it to help bridge that gap. But yeah, I've watched it all because I'm addicted to everything, so I have to watch it as soon as possible.
Hey, my fiance's the same way. When she gets her paws on something, it's like we're running through that show, and maybe a night sometimes, like literally that's what a Saturday or Sunday could be consumed of. But if you are able to spread it out, you could have an episode once a week or twice a week and kind of get yourself 5 to 10 weeks of Bucs ball without having real game footage. And Zack, we've talked about it. J-Lo, we've talked about it. But, once you see it on the television coming from these guys themselves, it kind of creates an image in your head that you didn't get before. Like we had Scott Reynolds come on and tell us some interesting things with Culverhouse and whatnot. We've known things about Culverhouse, but the Doug Williams debacle after his wife passed away and just not even being fair with his contract, the little details into the Bo Jackson situation, the Steve Young debacle, J-Lo. I mean, Bucs hired a RV salesman as their head coach at one point. Just everything about Hugh Culverhouse, J-Lo, which came to light. Not a lot of good stuff besides bringing the Bucs to Tampa.
No, it's not. I learned a lot watching the documentary series. I watched all the episodes. Very impressive. Shout out to Amazon and all the people that were in it. For the most part, Culverhouse was not a great owner. He made very bad decisions, and I learned a lot about him through that documentary, and thank God he's not the owner. I mean, RIP, I know he passed away.
Yeah, but as you said, J-Lo, made a lot of bad decisions, and I was being boozled by where they put the practice facility, the original One Buc place right next to the airport, J-Lo. That looked like a shoebox.
Oh, it looked terrible. Just hearing Dungy talk about it was like, oh, geez. Tells you how much patience that man has dealing with the practice facility he had to deal with when he came to Tampa and took over.
Jimmy Coletta saying, good morning, gentlemen. My last little note on Raise the Flags, I will not get on a plane if it's booked by Culverhouse. I know he's gone, but, the team plane, you had 6 players refuse to ride the team plane because they said it was so bad and so cheaply done. So if you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, or if you never knew this part of Bucs history existed, go to Amazon Prime. Raise the Flags documentary takes you through from the beginning, 1976, all the way through 2025. Gene Deckeroff's in it too, so good send off for great Gene Deckeroff. Jimmy, good morning. Our American Patriot served in the military. We always love military. A couple other notes before we get to Bucs coaching search. Cam Jordan's a fool, an absolute fool, and Taylor Lewan put him into place on ESPN the next morning, which is awesome. Former offensive lineman Taylor Lewan. But Zach, for those that missed it, Cam Jordan pretty much said, first of all, blasphemous offensive linemen aren't athletic, he said. And then he tried to backwalk a little bit and tried to say there's a difference between athletes, athletic. You know, he knew he was wrong, and he tried to create this whole stir and conundrum because he exposed himself by saying offensive linemen are only athletic if you play two sports. Well, Tristan Wirfs played 3 or 4. And he was an all-pro wrestler, all-pro football player, all-state champion wrestler. He did shot put. He did a couple other things as well. And I called him out on that, and he rebutted right away because he was probably nervous. And my tweets get more likes than his, so I don't know what the hell he's doing there. I don't know if Saints fans have given up on this poor guy, but this guy struggles to get 30 to 40 likes on a tweet, which no big deal. I feel bad for him. 36 years old. His best days are behind him. But, Zach, good God, don't lie about stuff to make you feel better. And then he tries to clap back. He spells Wirfs' name wrong, moron. And he tries to flex. Oh, you got pinned by a guy half his size. Another NFL offensive lineman who's a very good player, Tyler Lindenbaum. And then you could tell he just was melting down, kept trying to bring up his own personal accomplishments. That wasn't even what the argument about. We all know he's a good player. He was not arguing that. Zach, just a total meltdown by a guy like Cam Jordan, but he does this to stay relevant, I will say.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. He's grasping at relevancy by putting out this stuff and trying to engagement farm on his tweets. I wouldn't have even seen it if you hadn't replied to it because I don't pay any attention to what that dude says.
Yeah, I only seen it because Jordan Schultz, the old Fox reporter, I don't know where he is now, but he still breaks NFL news. We follow each other. So he, I guess, interviewed him, or he shared the clip or something, but it popped up on his feed, and I was like, but now Elon's algorithm has Cam Jordan's tweets popping up in my feed. I'm like, get this guy out of my feed. I'll have to mute him or something. But that's why I made lists. I actually made an MLB list, an NFL list, a college list, a wrestling list, a UFC list, Zach. So I don't even go on the main timeline. I just go to the list, and it filters all the bull crap algorithms out. So good little note there for those. But J-Lo, thoughts on Cam Jordan, again, being a clown, what he is best, right?
You said it best, clown. The dude would do anything to get attention, to get lights. Like you said, he's not what he used to be. And he's still a bum to me. Like I said, that's why whenever he goes on, I just take it with a grain of salt. The man is finished. I don't care how many sets he had this year. He's not going to ever win a ring. He'll be lucky even if a playoff appearance.
It was funny going at it with Saints fans. As our man from Nebraska is here. Puckhead, morning, boys. Morning, the great Mike from Nebraska. It was funny because I was going at it with Saints fans and having a good time, and they were clapping back. He still had 10 sacks last year. I'm like, oh, break it down. The games are unimportant. They were against inferior opponents, blah, blah, blah. They're like, the Saints weren't eliminated from the playoffs yet. They were 2-9. I was like, bruh.
What?
I'm like, mathematically, sure. Yes, they were alive. But at day's end, realistic elimination and mathematical limit. I replied, oh, I thought they were eliminated by week 3. And, it was just hilarious. Again, just buffoonery. But I will say a fun Twitter interaction I had, and maybe it'll come on to the Buccateers. The Bollywood Boys, you guys know them from the WWE, from AEW. They're the tag team wrestlers. They've had a couple different names in the past, but they were actually tweeting, and I got in touch with them that we'd like to have them on a pod, talk some sports, wrestling, and football. And they said maybe. So we'll maybe get the Bollywood boys onto the program. That would be cool. Chop it up with some of the guys. Cam should retire, but he doesn't want to disappear like his career. Oh, Plus with the roast. Holy crap.
Get him, Plus.
Plus was maybe going to come on. I don't know if Katz is coming on or not. I know Katz saw it, but Plus, if we don't have a Katz sighting soon, I'll send you the link. I know his audio, when Plus is on and Katz is on, the audio kind of glitches, I guess, in Plus's system. So we'll see if Katz bumbles in. If not, maybe we'll get Plus here. Grok set the record straight. You're right, Gene. You set the record straight by doing boots to asses, brother. What are you going to do when Gene comes running for you? So there you go, Gene. Smackdown. Cam Jordan. Olive in the house. Happy Saturday, boys. And our other great lady in the house. Happy Saturday, fellas. Sounds like they're copy and pasting each other's words. Boys, fellas, you know, hey, that's fine. That's fine. We love our lady listeners out there. But it's a great Zack Johnson, J-Lo, Tampa Tones here. We do have a great interview to announce, Zack, on Martin Luther King Day this Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern lunchtime, which works out perfect. Cough, cough. No Bucs radio on the air. No Tampa radio on the air that time either. The great Benjamin Chukwuma, the rookie offensive lineman, started multiple games this year in place of Tristan Wirfs. I think he held his own in there very good. I think he'll be a swing tackle to watch in the coming years, Zach. And I say that this guy's only played 3 years of football. Very raw skill, very big guy. Very nice guy. He was on with T-Crass a couple times throughout the season. So, Zach, I'm very happy to have Benjamin Chukwuma joining the program on Monday. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It is nice to know that Jason team found another diamond in the rough, so to speak. And this could be the swing tackle of the future for us, you know, spot fill on either side of the line. If an injury pops up, now we just got to do it again with the guard position this offseason.
And again, I'm always one to be fair. As often as I give Jason Light his flock for edges or linebacker, his offensive line history has been impeccable, man. This is a guy who does not miss on offensive linemen. And if he does, they're still pretty good, right? They're just not like the Jason Light model, which is amazing. You know, you got Tristan Wirfs, who somehow fell to the 5th tackle in that draft. Jason Light traded up, swooped his man, all but done. Ben Bredesen, Michigan man, got him for what, 3 years, $21 million extension, which is a steal in modern day NFL. I know he battled his injuries, but if he's healthy, difference maker. Graham Barton, to be determined. It was really weird season for him. He played phenomenally, filling in at left tackle and then moved back to center and just kind of fell apart. Probably in part due to Bredesen and right guard Cody Mauch not being healthy. Cody Mauch's an incredible talent. That was a really great pick. I mean, he's a really, and then Luke Gadecki as well, Zach, and even guys like Hainsey, who's he's drafted in the past. Marpet, who he's gotten the most out of out there when he was still a Buccaneer. Look, he brought in Ryan Jensen on a free agent deal, you know. A couple other guys, you know, Eli Klein, he's a suitable backup. He got him late in the draft. So Jason Light, Zach, and offensive linemen are pretty much a match made in heaven. I don't really remember him ever missing on a free agent or draft pick offensive lineman within the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, didn't he traded for, he bring in Mankins too, right? Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, Light's attention to the offensive line has been stellar. That's a good point, Plex. Maybe just have him do tackle and guard. But we definitely need to have some swing capabilities off the bench for the guard position. We kind of got caught with our hand in the cookie jar there a little bit between Michael Jordan and Haggard and Feeney. And when there's somebody else they ran through there, they tried to Klein a little bit, but he wasn't able to hold it down. So we've got some work to do in the interior of the line.
J-Lo, thoughts before we get to coaching talk, which is heating up around the league. Jason Light is O-line success. I mean, and we'll talk about guard play with Chukwuma surely, as Zach alluded to. You know, we've had Josh Wells, we had Earl Watford. We always had those grinders that could kind of pop in and play wherever. We don't really have that, right? I think Chukwuma could be that guy, But we don't really have that bona fide one right now, J-Lo.
No, unfortunately, but we got off season coming up, and I trust in Light that he's going to make a move or two for either an experienced backup guard or tackle, which we already have in Chakuma, in my opinion. But we definitely got to focus on the trenches and interior for sure as far as backup goes, because we were definitely depleted all this past season, which cost us a playoff spot.
And Chukwuma is just a nice guy. I reached out when he signed with the Bucs. I said, welcome to Tampa. He replied, thank you very much. I was actually going through my unread messages. I don't know what happened. I just seen it from April the other day. I'm like, let's get our guy on the show. He said, sure, I'm coming. So great stuff there. Chuck, those athletes remember when you reach out and congratulate them too. They like that type of thing. So we're excited to have the great Benjamin Chukwuma Monday, noon Eastern, here on the Buccateers. Get your questions ready, listeners. We'll have a lot ourselves, so no guarantees how many of the listeners' questions we get to, but do come prepared, as you never know. We still have Buccateers giveaways running through the Super Bowl. Our next one's going to be today, actually. Then everybody else will get one more turn. The coasters just got in. That's awesome. They're about a month late, but better late than never. So those will be given away. So much more fun stuff here on the Buccateers as the Bucs are having fun. Well, we hope they're having fun searching for their coaches. But, Zach, it seems like potentially, based on Greg Allman's tweet last night, he said it should be a quiet weekend for the Bucs in terms of coaching news, and next week we'll start hearing hires. Zach, that kind of reminds me of last year at one point when Greg Allman tweeted after 5-6 OC interviews that he wouldn't expect anything else. Next thing you know, you heard about the OC shortly after. Who knows if we'll hear about the OC at the beginning of next week, but we've heard, and we'll get into special teams, offensive coordinators. There's other assistants that need fillings, but is this it for the Bucs with offense and special teams coordinators, you think?
I'm not sure, man. I don't think I've read a report where we've interviewed Shieldhouse again. Did I miss it? No.
No, I don't think we've interviewed him. And based on a couple people I talked to, and again, this is just speculation and stuff, Zach, but I think apparently Jason Light has a pretty good feel that it's either head coach or, and I don't know if again, this is a little speculation, but some people think it's either head coach or back to the Rams for Shieldhouse to be their OC if LaFleur leaves. So I guess maybe that's why the Bucs are staring clear, because it would maybe be a waste of time. I don't know, but that's just what I've heard from a couple of decent connected Bucs people.
Well, I would think, a franchise like maybe Tennessee or Cleveland might have to take a guy that wasn't an OC and offer him that job, just because I don't know that it's going to be attractive to a lot of your more seasoned candidates. Like I couldn't see a guy like, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but a guy like McDaniel taking a job at Cleveland with that cap and quarterback situation. So you might have to take a chance on a guy like a Shieldhouse to, get somebody in there to do that. But, if this is it, I think we've had a good variety of guys through the door. I don't know if that Harbaugh deal to New York's, I don't think the ink's dry on that contract. I think it's more of a handshake agreement at this point. And now there's some stuff coming out about the GM situation there. So, but I think like Plex is saying, once we start getting some of these head coaches in place, the pieces will probably start to fall pretty quick, because it seems like a lot of the clubs have gone through the same group of candidates and rotated them all through. I know Atlanta starting second round apparently with Stefanski. So, and that's a hire that doesn't make me upset at all. Like go ahead and hire that guy. I don't think that's one that I'm scared of. But I think we got a good mix. McDaniel's obviously the number one for me, and then Monken, and then probably Zach Robinson, I guess.
Robinson and Kafka are the two guys that I wouldn't be happy about those two guys, but if it was Robinson or Kafka, at least I could be like, okay, I could make sense of it, but if you go with like a Shaw, a Wolf, or, those types, it's like, not really intriguing. I guess Callahan was at least a former head coach. I really want Woolfork as our quarterbacks coach. I'm going to pound the table on that until that becomes to fruition. I'm telling you, this guy is the next up-and-coming mind in the NFL. Plus says more will become available. Like Zach said, his head coach dominoes fall soon. Stefanski likely to Atlanta. I also heard J-Lo, maybe Robert Saleh to Atlanta too. Those are the two names I've been hearing around Atlanta. It sounds like Matt Ryan is pretty adamant on having a seasoned head coach, and Stefanski and Saleh fit both those bills given their time in the NFL, J-Lo.
Oh, no, I couldn't agree more. I think Saleh would definitely get a head coaching job. I think he's deserving to get another shot. Stefanski in Atlanta, I agree with Pless, most likely, which is fine by me. And I know Zach, I think he agrees with that too. That's fine. No big threat there. I will say on Shieldhouse, shout out to him getting these head coach interviews, going from OC to head coaching interviews from last year. I think he's a great mind. Would it be too soon to hire him? That's going to be a 50-50 risk. But as far as back to us, I mean, Zach Robinson, Kafka, it is what it is. If it's one of those two, I would be fine with it. Play calling experience is very key. You don't want to go back to a Gazar non-experience when it comes to when you mention the Arizona QB coach. I'd rather bring him as a QB coach than being a play caller at this moment. But
I don't want him as OC. I just want him as QB coach.
No, exactly. But to me, I'm hoping it's Mike McDaniel. I think that's what everybody wants in the Tampa Bay area. But we'll see. We'll have to be patient on it. I think he's another one that's going to probably get a head coaching job because he's getting all these interviews. And Tennessee wouldn't be a bad fit for him either to work with Cam Ward. So you never know. But to me,
shout out to our dude real quick. Dude's a monster with the super chat. J-Lo finish on, but we love you. Thanks for tuning in. He says, good morning, gentlemen. Hope you all doing well. We really appreciate you, brother. And you're killing it on your channel. Love popping in and watching you game it up over there. So if you haven't checked out Dude's a Monster yet on YouTube, you better get your ass over there for his next live stream. You will not be disappointed, especially you gaming fans. But he's so entertaining, Zach, that you don't even need to love gaming in order to be entertained over at our friends.
Yeah, just take it easy with the compliments. I got to work with that guy, so.
Okay. Never. I retract everything.
Yeah. Just kidding. No, that's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a Raiders fan, so hopefully for him, they get a decent candidate over there.
Joey, you're joining us right as we get a super chat from our friends over at Dude's a Monster. How you doing? Welcome in. Happy Saturday to you, brother.
Happy Saturday. Can't wait for all the games, especially Buffalo. I'll be tuned in, locked in today. So, yeah, ready for it. And super chats are always a good thing. So let's get it on.
Yeah, we appreciate it once again, Dude's a Monster. You are the man. We'll be sure to keep shouting you out. Richard, good morning, fellas. From the West Coast. It's early for you. We appreciate you always tuning in early. But J-Lo, go ahead and wrap up your thoughts before we'll wrap up our Bucs coaching talk here in a minute.
I will say Matt McDaniel, like I mentioned earlier, he's my top choice, everybody's top choice. But I'd be fine with Zach Robinson or Mike Kafka. Can't be any worse. I think the two experienced play callers, and I think they can get the offense going, especially Zach Robinson, who's under the McVay tree. I'll never turn my back to anybody under the McVay tree. And he brought a lot out of Bijan Robinson, too. People don't mention that as well. He had a great year. So imagine him with Bucky. I think that would be good for Bucky Irvin's sake if Zach Robinson got the job.
Yeah, well, and that's another important thing. McDaniel with Devin Achane. Look at that. Robinson with Bijan. Look at that, right? A lot of these offensive coordinator candidates have done some good things with running backs. Think I go with McCarthy. I would agree there with Plus saying Raiders will look at McDaniel or the defensive coaches. Titans going with McCarthy. I think Titans would go with McCarthy as well. That would be a good one. Joey, my bro, says Plus checking in on Joey. Real quick, Zach, if you had to choose one of the special teams coordinator candidates, I think it's an impressive pool. I'm honestly more impressed with the top to bottom pool of special teams guys overall. Like, I still like a couple of the offensive guys, but to me, top to bottom, the special teams guys have been more strong collectively. And that starts with yesterday. 72-year-old out of the Pittsburgh Steelers has been there for a really long time now, has had some really good success over there. That was an intriguing interview, Mr. Smith, and I'm shocked they're letting him go, to be quite honest with you. I know Tomlin and his coaching staff is out of contract, so Danny Smith could vet other opportunities, but he was out there, interviewed. Eagles special teams coordinator is out there getting interviewed. Michael Clay, he fits a younger mold. Again, Eagles had a pretty good unit. Then you got Lions assistant Jet Modkins, only 30 years old. They were top 5 in a lot of categories last year, special teams wise. You had former NFL player he was a special teams ace for 10 years. Now Ravens assistant Anthony Levine Sr., only 38 years old. And then the least inspiring to me, but it makes sense, Craig Aukerman, 49. If we do get McDaniel, maybe some familiarity there, OC special teams guys. So Zach, pretty happy with this pool of candidates personally. Which way would you lean out of the 5 known guys?
Yeah, it's a good pool. For me, it's Denny Smith out of Pittsburgh is like the front runner, followed closely by the guy from the Eagles. Both of those I thought had really strong special teams. The Eagles blocked our field goal, so I feel like right there, he's probably that one play is coached better than our entire special teams was coached all of last season. So that would be a huge upgrade. But I don't really know that there's a really wrong pick in there. I mean, I feel like all those guys are an improvement. And like I said, we mentioned on the show before, man, like the bar is so low for special teams that anybody can come in and it's going to look like an improvement.
Yeah, and I was confused the other day as well as Gene once again mentions he won his pick 'em pool. Yeah, we get it at this point. Just kidding. We love it. But yeah, the other day I see Mr. Bucs Nation make a video on Keith Tandy getting interviewed, but Greg Allman was just resurfacing a tweet from 2024, so there was some confusion there. No interview for Keith Tandy. But Joey, if you're the Bucs and you've had problems for almost forever at special teams, would you go like Smith from the Steelers, who's 72 and has been there or done that, or would you go one of these up and comers who's 30, 38, 49 and a little bit more young and maybe could provide a spark?
First off, congrats, Gene, on your 2-person pick and pool. Coming in first is a hell of an accomplishment, no doubt about it. And then looking at it, I mean, I'll make my joke about this guy first, but there is nobody more annoying to watch on the Steelers special teams coordinator during a game on TV because they just show
the gum.
They just show him chewing his damn gum, and it's when we played them this year, I was hoping the gum went sideways at one point. But he's a great special teams coordinator. To be honest with you, the Colts have had a couple of good ones, Ventura, and then Brian Mason from Notre Dame, and I don't really know how. Evaluating from if they come from college like some do, the old versus the young. All I know is you see it in these playoffs, especially, right? Special teams is huge. When you can pin teams back within the 20-yard line instead of giving them at the 30, 40 off a muff punt, or even if you have that one play where your gunners are just attacking the field, making things happen. I'm not even really talking about fakes because in the playoffs that could be a little risky, but it's just huge come playoff time. Field position is massive. A couple of first downs, boom, you're in field goal range. So whatever they do, they want to get this right, especially for playoffs. That team has a lot of playoff-ready players on Tampa Bay. And that's why I'd maybe lean with the veteran from Pittsburgh, even though I made my jokes. But if he's on your team, you love that guy because, A, he brings the energy. I think it's important to have a guy who does have some fire. I don't care he's 72. This ain't like you're looking for a 10-year special teams coach. And then he has the background and experience, so nobody could call it a bad hire, even if it went south. To me, that would mean it was on the players doing it forward. So special teams are important, and obviously I hope the Bucs get this right. And I think go with the old man, and at least if he's going to not be against you could see him chew bubblegum on your sideline, which would be more entertaining than the other way around.
Pete Carroll's brother of chewing gum, he went to the same chew gum university as Pete Carroll. J-Lo, would you go with the old guy, or Zach alluded to it, Nate Shieldhouse a little bit? You never know where these head coaches come from. Shieldhouse will probably get a gig. Would you maybe go with the young guy just for the sake of, you never know if you catch a Harbaugh type lightning in the bottle. You never know out there. Probably not likely, but you never know.
No, you never know, and you can't go wrong with any of those young candidates. But I'm with Joey. I'd rather go with the old man. Bring the experienced guy in. I think he'll get the best out of the players. And I watched a highlight video of him like working out with the team, with the players in the gym, which was pretty cool. So to me, he seems like a player's coach. So I would go with the old man, the experience over the young group right now at this point.
I think for me, again, I like a lot of these candidates. It depends how you swing the OC. If you end up with a Mike McDaniel or Callahan, a guy who's been experienced, they've been a head coach, you don't need a veteran special teams coordinator, then I'd go youth on special teams coordinator. But if they do the opposite, where on OC they bring in a Robinson or a younger guy, then I'd absolutely go the older guy for special teams coordinator and Smith. So, I just think if they bring in a very experienced OC who's had head coach experience and whatnot, they'll bring in a younger special teams guy. If they bring in a younger OC who's more inexperienced, I think they'll bring in the vet and Smith. But I think Smith is probably the one to get results instantly, right? You know what you're going to get if he comes over from Pittsburgh. So if not, I'd go Jed Mockins or Levi Sr. We'll see. Gene says, Joey, me versus you in a unsanctioned Chicago street fight for the title. Wow. There you go.
Good luck. I know what it is to battle like in Chicago while you sit there in your warm seat in Arizona. Take that, my friend.
Plus goes, go with Modkins. You three say Smith. I'm going to go with Levine or Modkins, but I would like Smith too. Again, I just think if we go McDaniel at OC, which I'm hoping they might go a younger special teams or Ackerman, but you never know. I don't think there's a bad candidate in the pool here. And we're going to flip the script from special teams coordinator and open up the script of the NFL, the world of college ball, and so much more. As Bucs pretty much made it known their smaller coaching hires will come after their bigger ones. So, Zach, last thoughts this week? Should be a big hiring week for the Bucs coming up here.
Yeah, if we see it this week, I think we had a good group run through there. And like I said, I think it's more important about getting the right guy, not just hiring a guy. So,
and it seemed like when we hired McGahee last time for special teams, it seemed like we were just hiring a guy, Zach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we all kind of question that. And, it's always bad when you bring somebody on the staff and then that fan base starts tweeting at your team like you're going to regret this hire, like this is a good hire or whatever. All the Giants fans kind of lit us up there. So hopefully we don't experience that this time.
Couldn't agree more. J-Lo put a bow on our Bucs coach and search talk. Mike McDaniel, anything else?
I mean, Mike McDaniel would be, a home run hire, for the most part, because he's a former head coach. So something happens during the season, he's more than capable of taking over. If Bulls can't get it going, we'll see. But if not, I don't mind going with Zach Robinson, Kafka. I was kind of holding out for Brian Daboll, but it looks like that's not going to happen, which I'm fine with. That's okay. I trust Jason Light will help Bulls find the right offensive coordinator, and hopefully he won't make the same mistake, let him leave the building if he's successful, whoever it is.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel is the boss, says Olivia. He interviewed yesterday, has a couple more lined up for him. I'm sure he'll make his decision by mid next week. And as we alluded to, I think he'd rather take a Bucs OC or an Eagles OC gig over a great head coaching role. But I think the Bucs OC is a limelight because Todd Bowles' defense. He could have his hand in the honeypot and have the offense for himself. Joey, quickly, Colts talk. Not a lot going on. Lou Anaromo kind of just seems like a guy who's gotten a handful of interviews, but doesn't seem like they're going to lose anybody.
No, and I hope not, because I think year two is very key for a D coordinator for multiple reasons. When you're a good one like Lou is, because you don't really have your players in year one as much, you have from the old regime, and the defense was different. Gus Bradley ran a dog shit defense here in Indy. Quite frank. And Lou Anaromo ran a good one. We were bend but don't break. We might have let up some yards, but when it came down to it, more often than not, field goals instead of touchdowns. So we're looking to get younger on defense. Our pass rush, just like your guys's. We actually had a decent amount of sacks, but they're all from defensive backs. It wasn't as much on the ends outside of Latu. So I'd like to see some fresh blood. We have quite a few free agents on the defensive line. I hope we bring in Trey Hendrickson from Cincy, as long as he doesn't – I don't know what he expects payday-wise, but he was with Lou in Cincinnati, so that would help rev that up. And yeah, like you said, nothing much. Coaching staying the same, and we'll go from there and we'll see what happens. But just like you see, what pisses me off most about this is the parity in the NFL. You see the Chicago Bears making a crazy run. You see the 1 seeds, the Broncos, and then even Seattle or Jacksonville, who all these teams have like 9 to 10 win difference from the year before. You don't have to go through a full rebuild anymore. That should give our teams a lot of faith. It's, to me, everyone uses the word retool. I think that's exactly what our teams need to do to get back to where we could be, and then be talking about our teams playing this weekend instead of the off season.
Yeah, Pops text into the program. Give me the old gum chewing guy, one for the old guys. So Pops is all.
Yeah, well, he was hoping he choked on his gum in week 8, so he changed his mind real fast.
Well, he survived the test. You know, you could chew that much gum, and the next thing you know, you're wanted out there. But veteran, great guy, and gum goes a long way. So we'll see. And the Ricky Dogs guy is saying, sounds like Kevin Stefanski will be the next head coach of the Falcons. Connor J. Hughes was on it first. So
I'm pretty sure the Falcons are going to be, not to cut you off, but I'm leaning towards them being a team that in 5 years, we're putting them in that Jets and Browns category.
Maybe, I don't know.
And everything, and it won't matter.
I don't know. That defense is on Texans' trajectory with those 2 young edge rushers, though. Good God, those kids are fierce out there, man. Those were 2 good picks they had. Young Notre Dame safety. I agree their offense has to figure it out, but their defense is looking prime for the future, I will say.
That's why you want Stefanski there and not Saleh.
Yeah, well, and it seems like they want to keep Ulbrich around regardless, their defensive coordinator, because they denied him interviewing elsewhere too. So they're probably going to let him keep control of that defense, bring in Stefanski. But I don't know. Look at the Texans' approach. They went to Miko Ryans, and now their defense is strong. So who the hell knows? Hopefully whoever the hell Atlanta hires is the wrong hire, though. That's all I know. Tired of those guys. Gene says, do you factor in people you can promote and keep consistently on the team if Bowles moves on? I mean, it depends the coordinator position, the coaching position, who it is, right? It's just hard to tell. I think that's why a guy like Mike McDaniel's intriguing, though, because you could promote him if Bowles does move on, which we're moving on to the football games here, fellas, on the Buccateers podcast. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Turn that notification bell on. You will never miss an episode out there. We appreciate super chats, memberships, so much more here on the Buccateers, as we have a special guest for the Pick'ems too. Mr. Plus is going to be joining us here, I believe. If we could get him figured out, we'll see what's going. I think he'll be joining us here shortly. Camera looks like it might be having some trouble, so we'll see if we could work on Plus for the Pick'em. Here he is. The great one himself, Michael Plus, in the house. Let's give him a round of applause. Oh, there's a low round of applause. We need a bigger one. There we go. Plus, how you doing, brother? Long time no talk.
I know, right? No, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Hanging in there, brother. Quick thoughts on the Bucs and their search before we get to our weekend pick'ems. What are your thoughts, ideas, opinions on special teams and offense?
Yeah, I mean they're taking their time. I think they're waiting for these head coaching, jobs to get, I think, completed. I think there's still opportunities for Shieldhouse, Udinski getting into the mix at OC. I think Mike McDaniel, Todd Monken, probably the favorites. We just have to see where these guys end up. I think we'll know a lot more next week. But yeah, I mean, they definitely, I think, are leaning towards the experienced play caller. They don't want to go through what they went through last year, and and this is it for Todd Bowles. Like, he has to get the results, or else it's going to be. I think you're looking at a new coach next year, regardless. I think you're just really delaying the inevitable, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and quickly, I know you said you wanted Modkins as your guy. The Lions had top 5 ranked return categories throughout special teams last year. They were top 5 in punt return average, kick return average. They led the league in punt return touchdowns with 3 last season.
Yeah.
You know, so Modkins would be a guy who fits the bill and help in this return game, which we know it needs it. And he's only 30 years young as well, so he could be that next lightning in a bottle type coach in Tampa. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. I think any special teams coach you get is probably going to be an upgrade. You know, especially looking at the guys that they're targeting. Eagles special teams coach, that'd be awesome. I think the Lions makes a lot of sense. The other guy, Levine, he's good as well. So yeah, you can't go wrong. And then obviously the Steelers special teams coach, I think that would be a home run just because of all of his experience, and they're usually really good at special teams as far as that goes. So yeah, can't go wrong there. I think all those have been good interviews, and we'll see that. I would expect probably wraps up here pretty soon. I think that's probably the first announcement we probably see, and then OC will be later on.
Agreed, and I think it might not have a connection, but I think it could be telling. I think if Bucs go with the Steelers guy, the OC might be a younger mind, not inexperienced OC, but no head coach and experience, where if they get a McDaniel or Callahan as their OC, they might go with the younger guy in special teams. Might not be in cahoots at all, but we'll see. Regardless, it's going to be an upgrade, and we're upgrading now to NFL divisional weekend, college championship weekend. We got 3 straight days of awesome football, fellas. Literally smash mouth football for the next 3 straight days, and it starts today with Buffalo and Denver pretty much being a pick'em. This game is 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. The Broncos are favored by 1 point currently. Is this now or never for Josh Allen, fellas? Zach, we'll start with you. Who do you have winning this game? Buffalo, Denver, 4:30 Eastern. No Burrow, no Lamar, no Mahomes, no more Herbert. Is it time for Josh Allen to get to the Super Bowl?
You would think that's the way the cards are aligning for him, right? This is his best chance through the AFC with none of those other, other powerhouse quarterbacks in there. But Sean Payton is a good coach, as much as it hurts my soul to say that. I think those guys will get ready. He's done a tremendous job with Bo Nix. But I will be a Buffalo fan this afternoon so that I don't have to look at Sean Payton's face past this weekend. So it's just going to depend on if Buffalo can move the ball, man. Sometimes their offense looks really bad. And then you got Josh Allen out there just running around for his life. Because the receivers can't get any separation, they can't get open, and if they shut the running game down with Cooks, it's even uglier to watch at times. So their defense kind of made some plays last week when they really needed to kind of salt that game away. So you got to hope for that, because Peyton has done a really good job on the other side of the ball with his receivers and getting them into places to where they're successful. So I think it's going to be a good game. I hope we get games like we did last weekend, aside from the last 2 of the weekend. But I'm thinking that Buffalo's going to pull it out at the end.
I'm in the same sentiment. I think if you look at Denver's scores this year, they have beaten a lot of good teams, right? They beat the Packers, they've beaten the Chiefs twice, they've beaten the Eagles on the road. But if you look at a lot of their wins, they're against really bad teams by not a lot of points. Their defense is immaculate. Sean Payton's a really good coach. Interesting stat, no coach has ever won a Super Bowl with 2 teams either before, so that's really hard. I think the Bills get this one as well. I think it's going to be an ugly, not ugly in terms of actual game, but I think it's going to be a dogfight, a bruising battle. People are going to get beat up. J-Lo, you going Bills with Zach and I, or are you on your best friend Sean Payton's bandwagon of the Broncos?
Well, Denver's known to crap the bed when they're the top seed. They've done it in the past against Baltimore years ago. So give me Buffalo. I'm rooting for Josh Allen. I think he's going to get it done and make his way to the Super Bowl. Go Bills.
And we get the great Marianne Hederman joining. We got your package. We're going to open it, and we're going to put it in an Instagram video as well. So we appreciate you supporting the Buccateers, Mrs. Cornhusker herself. Plus, are you leaning towards Buffalo or Denver here, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, today in a couple hours?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Trying to fix my
No,
mic.
you're good.
Yeah, I think I think defense wins, around this time. Defense, and if you can run the football. So I'm going to lean Denver. I think, Josh Allen, obviously this is his best opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. You don't have to go up against Mahomes. You don't have to go up against really anyone. Lamar Jackson's not in it. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's really going to come down to, can Denver's offense be good enough? Can they play smart and not turn the ball over? But I do think their defense is going to lead the way here, and I have them winning in a close battle.
Yeah, I told my pops last night, I'm like, my brain tells me the Broncos. My heart tells me the Bills. I think the Broncos win, but I want the Bills to win, so I'm split. It's going to be a tough one. Joey, close us out on Bills Broncos.
Yeah, I'm all in on Buffalo today with the heart there for Josh Allen, hoping he gets his first one. But, hey, he's only 29. John Elway, Peyton Manning, they didn't win one till they got a little older themselves, and both won a couple. So I won't say the door is closed, but this opportunity is great. And a matter of fact, I don't think it's going to happen, but sometimes you got to go out on a limb here. There's some weird stuff happening with the Harbaugh thing in New York. To me, if Buffalo lost this game, I would fire McDermott's ass and call John Harbaugh from one state over where he's been in New York puddling around because the Giants don't know what they're doing, and just put him in there. And I guarantee Buffalo would have the Super Bowl in the next couple seasons if they did that. But I'm all on Josh Allen today. I don't think, actually last year, this game was in Buffalo reverse. Broncos were the 7th seed. They went to Buffalo, and Buffalo beat them 31-7. So Denver's going to be.
I think Broncos scored the first touchdown that game too.
Yeah, so they're going to be licking their chops. It's been a while since they've been on their home turf in the playoffs, but I think Josh Allen wins this one ugly, and I'm looking forward to it.
As you alluded to on Harbaugh, I don't think it happens, but the Bucs know about falling at the altar, right? We had Bill Parcells do it to us twice. We had Chip Kelly do it to us as well. The Colts had Josh McDaniel do it once to them. So,
and thank God he did it, because that guy's a scumbag piece of shit, Josh McDaniel.
the Bucs are sadly we're leading the league in coach ghostings, but it worked out well, right? We didn't get Parcells, we got John Gruden. So that ended up going okay. The Chip Kelly, Greg Schiano one, and they ended up both not being too much anyways. So there you have it. Worked out and hasn't worked out, but we'll see. Harbaugh, I mean, he's just about to make so much money. I truly think his is more about contract details and stuff. But, hey, if you're the Bills, until ink hits paper, call him. See what the hell has to happen. And that's another good thing the Raise the Flags documentary did. That Gruden story, how that contract came about was insane. They faxed him over a piece of paper at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night. Gruden's wife had to run out and set up a fax machine. The Glazers fax machine wasn't working, so they had to forward it to their brother. It was just crazy shenanigans as Bonomo joins us and says, let's go Broncos. So I'm going to bump the Bills spread to 3.5 and take Bills plus 3.5. Olivia's saying plus. We got a plus fan in the house. There we go. Plus, you could start us off then with this game, 8 o'clock Eastern. 49ers plus 7 at Seattle with the banged up Sam Darnold with his oblique.
Yeah, that's a good bet right there. I think you would look at the 49ers heavily just because of the uncertainty of Sam Darnold. Now, if I'm sure they'll find a way to get him on the field, to shoot him up, do whatever they have to do to make sure he's good. But yeah, this is a tough one to decide. It's really going to be a coin flip type of game. I think both defensively on either side have been playing much better, and it's amazing what San Francisco has done with all the injuries. I'm going to take the home team yet again. I know the road teams were the winners last week, but I feel like the home teams are going to matter in this one. So I'm going to go with Seattle. I think just that crowd noise, that overall defense that they play, they'll be able to suffocate Brock Purdy, and they'll find a way.
Joey, what say you? Seattle Niners plus 7. Do you agree with plus in the outcome, or you got something else cooking?
As the great Lee Corso said, not so fast, my friend, Mr. Plus, on this one. For a few things. I was only on the San Fran spread until this oblique injury. And I know it was different injuries, but Danny Dimes, when he got his fibula back then, it's not too much. The oblique affects your throwing. He hasn't thrown a ball in 2 days now, Sam Darnold. And his history in the playoffs against the blitz in general is not good. San Fran turns the ball over a lot. They do have tons of injuries, but Fred Warner should be back next week, and I truly think they want to get there for that guy. And Brock Purdy's played really good in Seattle. So what I think is going to happen today, Robert Saleh is going to dial up the blitzes. If Sam Darnold can't move, I know he's not the fastest guy, but if he can't move at all and he's, itching a little on those throws, it could become a game where Seattle doesn't get a lot done to me offensively. And that's where I think San Fran could take advantage. And we'll see what happens, obviously. Maybe they're overblowing it. Maybe they're not. We haven't seen much of Darnold this week besides that news. So I'm going to go with San Fran, and they're going to keep it close. It's going to be an ugly game. It's divisional, so they're used to that crowd noise there. And not only would I take the spread, I would take the money line for a little bit more juice and go with them.
J-Lo, what say you? Niners, Seahawks, 8 o'clock. We still have Texans, Pats, Rams, Bears, and college football to get to here on the Buccateers. So Niners, Rams, let's, speed it up a little bit.
No, I will say, you can't go wrong with Shanahan, who has the more playoff experience than Seattle's coach McDaniel. So I like the Niners in a close one on the road, getting the big win, the upset over the Seattle Seahawks, especially with Darnold's oblique injury. I'm just not confident in him right now.
I'm keeping it simple. I had the Niners last week to upset the Eagles on the road. I'm having the Niners this week to upset Seattle on the road. I think Niners represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. Zach, what say you? Niners, Seahawks, Niners +7.
I think it comes down to, who manages these injuries better. San Fran suffered another tough one last week with Kittle. They just seem to be so resilient when it comes to that. Their defense is decimated by injuries. If Darnold tries to play and can't go, I think that's actually a worse scenario than starting Drew Lock at the beginning, because I just think it's easier for a guy that kind of knows he's starting as opposed to getting thrown in. But also Seattle's run game can come alive because the Niners are so beat up. But I just think the Niners are just so good with overcoming those injuries, and Shanahan puts those guys in such a good position that I think I would take San Francisco in this one.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun doubleheader today. 2 games that look like really good matchups, especially on paper. Bills, Broncos, 49ers, Seahawks. Going to be a fun double day here. And then we move on to doubleheader tomorrow. Joey, which starts 3 o'clock. Houston +3 in Foxborough, New England, 3 o'clock Eastern. That is over-under in this one, 41 points. Both of these defenses look pretty damn good in their opening segments last week of the playoffs.
Yeah, this will probably be the most boring game of the weekend. And I don't mean that as bad as it sounds. The defense is led by these two teams. If you watched last week, just in a nutshell, you see the Texans lay down the clamp as they were the best regular season defense. And then New England, they shut down the Chargers. I'll hold that with a grain of salt because the Chargers O-line stinks, and Justin Herbert's, to me, probably a little bit overrated, but not here or there. I think Patriots get a 3-point win at home. I know a lot of people seem to be picking Houston. I saw the 4-letter network yesterday. They had 5 people pick the game, and everybody picked the Texans. But I do think Vrabel, there's just something there, a little more juice. New England has this with Drake May, and I'll take the Patriots by 3.
Yeah, Drake May, man, could he be MVP? We will see. J-Lo, what say you? Patriots, Texans, you going with Pats and Joey, or are you going Houston and D'Amico Ryans?
It's going to be a slobber knocker for sure on both defense sides. But going to Foxborough, going to New England is going to be tough as well, as most football fans remember in the past. I like my Vrabel at this point. Give me the Patriots at home.
Zach, what say you? Patriots, Texans. This one's tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern. New England, 3-point favorites at home.
Man, I think we're going to get an old-fashioned defensive gym in this one, man. I just think both of these defenses are just balls out, 2 of the best in the league. I'm going to take Houston because I think their defense scores more points than their offense does, and they win the game.
Plus, what say you, Texans, Patriots? This is a battle of young quarterbacks, battle of head coaches who are some of the best in the NFL. This is going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it should be. I think low scoring, like everyone's saying. But I agree. I think the Texans are going to take this one. I agree with Zach there. I think just the edge rush that they have with Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson's a man on a mission. So I expect them to get pressure, get into May's face, and obviously force mistakes like Realtor David says there. So yeah, I have Texans winning this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I want the Patriots to win. Texans looked tough last week. I'm going to go with New England. Only another little thing that you got to factor in. New England did get an extra day of rest out of this too, right? That's the problem with the Monday night games, so they'll be a little more fresh coming into this matchup. And Houston has to travel back-to-back weeks. New England doesn't have to travel back-to-back weeks. Between logistics and rest, I'm going to be an analytic nerd here and put on my glasses and say 82.9% of the teams that have back-to-back home games. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, that's what I think will happen. Patriots, the rest, and being at home back-to-back weeks. I think they're going to
be a snow game too.
What happened, Plus?
I was just saying it's going to be a snow game potentially as well.
Yeah, and then as Joey alluded to, Justin Watson and Nico Collins both out with concussions. Former Super Bowl champ Justin Watson of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby. Whoa! Beautiful. I don't quite get this. I know that trying to insult the Texans, but that makes no sense as the Texans defense is phenomenal. So, I don't really get that comment, but thanks for tuning in, D. Burris. We appreciate you. Right there. Speaking of appreciate, I appreciate the weather update and the injury update by Plus and Joey. And this one should be weatherful and injury impactful as well. 6:30 Eastern tomorrow. Rams -4 at Chicago. That's a big spread right there for the Rams being on the road in a cold weather stadium, which you're not used to. Plus, what say you? Rams at Bears, 6:30 Eastern tomorrow. Plus, we'll start with you.
Yeah, give me Chicago. I just think they have, I don't know, there's something happening with that team. The way they're able to find these fourth quarter comebacks, the way Caleb Williams just like elevates his game to another level. I think Chicago is going to find a way. Now, this should be a heck of a matchup. Just the masterminds at both head coaches and Sean McVay and Ben Johnson. Like, it's going to be fun to see how they go back and forth. But yeah, I'm going to go with the home team yet again, and I think Chicago finds a way.
David Z says Rams will destroy Chicago. Moneymaker this game. Wow. Harsh words there from David on the Bears. Donna chiming in saying go Bears. Joey, what say you? Bears, Rams? Are you on the plus train with the Rams or with the Bears? I'm sorry.
Listen, it's hard to go against Chicago, being here in the great city, seeing the vibes. As Plus alluded to, there's something special about this team. They lost their owner before the season. They wear the big VKM patch for Virginia McCaskey. Everything's going right. Ben Johnson's talking shit everywhere. You got a lot of foolish fans out there who want to play flag football, complaining he talks too much. Listen, that was a Packers-Bears rivalry. That's what it should be. The Bears haven't been a real rival with them for years. It's about damn time Ben Johnson got that and pulled the keister out of the Bears' ass. So good on his end. But that all being said, do you think – I know it could be -8 with the wind chill. Do you think Matthew Stafford, the MVP, gives a shit when he has Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams going down there? I don't care. He's going West Coast, closer to the Midwest and all that stuff. I do love the Bears. I'll be rooting for them. But to me, the end runs here. Green Bay came off a 4-game losing streak and a lot of things going on there without Parsons. This Rams team is getting healthier, and I think they win this game in a close one.
Yeah, J-Lo going to be a barn burner, going to be a close one. What say you?
It's going to be a very tough call because the Rams surprised me last week and how they kept Carolina in the game. But that being said, I still like the Rams in a close one by a field goal. Bears would give them their all. but I like McVay over Ben Johnson. So Rams over Bears for me.
What say you, Zach? Bears, Rams?
This is the one I'm looking forward to the most. That fourth down throw that Caleb made last week against the Packers should be in Madden this year. Like, they should build their whole commercial on it, like we got that stupid Mahomes shit from the Super Bowl. But that throw was amazing and so like under talked about, in my opinion. Like that, I don't even know how that happened. I got the Rams for 3 quarters, and then I got the Bears outscoring them in the fourth quarter to win this game. Like what they've done this season is crazy, man. You can't count. Nobody thought they were going to win that game last week, and then they just out of nowhere, man, came back and won that thing. So until they don't, I'm gonna ride with them and say that they got this thing, Bears.
Plus, and I kept trying to talk Bears fans off the edge last week. We were like, a lot of game left, a lot of time left. Bears are a second half team. That Packers missed field goal before half was big. Ben Johnson can't be that aggressive this week, though. The Rams will make, if you go for it on your own 30 on fourth down, you can't be doing that in the first half. There's certain situations for certain games. If you give a team like the Rams with Sean McVay the ball at the 30, they're going to dice you up, slice you up, and make you pay for that. So you can't do that against a guy like McVay. And I want the Bears to win this game. I hate the Rams. It goes all the way back till forever, right? The Bert Emanuel catch rule. That pretty much derailed the Bucs that year in a bullcrap loss to the Rams. They eliminated us in 2021 when a lot of us thought we could have went back-to-back and had another good Super Bowl. I hate Sean McVay. I hate the Rams. And I think Caleb is magical. He has a magical gene in him. But until Ben Johnson right now, I've seen him in 2 playoff games. In his last 2 playoff games, he did not impress me. The Redskins-Lions game last year, he was way too aggressive, tried to dial up way too many trick plays. The Lions offense fell victim to that. Last week, I think he tried to get too cute. If it wasn't for Caleb Williams, I don't think the Bears win that football game. So I think that Ben Johnson has to smarten up a little bit. I don't think that happens this week. I think the Rams win in a really close-fought battle by Chicago. So I think Bears fight their ass off, but I think Sean McVay ends up getting the best of Ben Johnson. But if you're a Bears fan, you might like that because I thought that would happen last week with Michael Floor and whatnot. So moving on to the last game of the weekend, championship game of the weekend, I should say as well. This one's going to be a fun contest as we lost J-Lo. He's just down and out now. So we're playing Brady Bunch here. Monday Night Football, Miami, Indiana. This is going to be a fun one. Miami's actually +8. Remember, this game is in Miami. 7:30 Eastern kickoff. Joey, what say you?
Yeah, being a Colts fan, I have a little bit of bias here because I do follow Indiana a little bit. And Cignetti, I mean, ever since he got stepped foot in this town in Indiana, he's really done good things at Bloomington. So you see that crowd last week. They all traveled to the Mercedes Dome and made a lot of impact there. The pick 6 right off the start of the game. I know Miami is actually, I give them a lot of kudos. They're good in the trenches, and they've surprised me to this point, but there's nobody stopping this Indiana team. Just like the Bears have some magic with Ben Johnson in the NFL, I think Cignetti will not be denied by anybody. Maybe they don't cover, but they're winning this football game. I don't mind it's in Miami. I just think the Heisman winner, Coach Cignetti, and how good they are on both. I mean, look at the thing that impressed me most, my last comment. They have a bunch of 3-star recruits, a bunch of JMU. Everyone thinks you need 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. They're doing it with the average of a 3.5 over there. So give me Indiana to win.
Plus, what say you? Miami +8 in Miami against Indiana. Miami, pretty dang impressive. Indiana, pretty dang impressive. This is going to be a good one, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, give me the Hoosiers. I think they're the best. I think this is the best coached football team in America, and that's including professional. Like they're just so well coached. The way they play, they don't make mistakes. They just do everything right. And yeah, give me that 10 out of 10 times. Like so, Indiana, I think wins.
J-Lo, what say you?
I'm going to go with Indiana, even though Miami's worked their way up. But to me, Indiana's a better coach football team, like Plus said.
Zach?
Yeah, I think Pless nailed it on the head, man. This is one of those games where you're going to see that coaching does matter. Give me Indiana, and that way, when we Google Cignetti's name after the game, it'll say, "I still win."
I'm lone wolfing it. Give me Miami to win straight up, not only to cover the 8, but to win straight up. We've seen this story before. The Buccaneers won it in front of Tampa, won it in front of their home crowd. Remember that beautiful day 5 years ago? A lot of Bucs fans are Miami fans. Our very own co-host, Stunna, Miami fan. Could history repeat itself for Bucs fans? I don't think Indiana. Carson Beck is a very smart quarterback. He's very veteran-proved, very veteran-driven. Indiana has faced a couple young QBs along the way to this point so far. Now they get a veteran like Carson Beck. This is going to be a very much different game than they faced before. Miami's defense is very fierce up front. Going to be a good one. And I think Indiana is the best coach team in the country, but you guys have said it talent-wise, 3-star recruits. This is where a more talented team comes to the surface. And I think Miami has a little bit more prominent playmakers, a little bit better players out there. And in this game, in their pro careers, give me Mendoza, but in one game, give me Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck shows on Monday that he is the better quarterback of the two for a championship caliber game. I got Miami winning a very good game. I think it's going to be a great game. And Curt Cignetti did a hell of a job this year. I think he falls just short in his pursuit of the championship. But guys, we have a loaded weekend of football. My Lord, all these games. I mean, I don't look at any of these games and go, that's going to be a bad game. You know, I just don't look at any of them and see a blowout incoming or a bad football game incoming. The biggest spread of the weekend is 8, which is always a good sign. Usually at least you have one that's in double digits now. So time for final words, bets of the weekend. We're going to do breadwinners and final words, one and the same. J-Lo, you kick us off. Who's your breadwinner, brother? And what's your final word for the weekend of sports? It's a loaded one.
Oh, yeah, it's been fun. Breadwinner, I'm going to go with hot Florida basketball. They've been on a 2 to 3 game win streak.
Is the game at halftime again?
No, the game's at 2 this time. So they're playing Vanderbilt on the road. I like Florida's chances. They're starting to come along. Give me the Florida Gators. That's my breadwinner.
Breadwinner on 117 Gators. That is money line or spread. What are you doing?
I'm going to go with money line.
All righty, there we go. Florida basketball money line for J-Lo. Plus, if you don't have a bet, that's cool, brother, but give us your final word, or if you like something in the world of sports out there, give us that as well.
Yeah, no bets here. Don't come to me for bet information. Like I don't know. I can't pick fantasy football teams, and I don't do bets either. So but what I can do is I can watch film and tell you how things go as far as football. But yeah, I'm just excited for this weekend. Like you said, it's going to be a great weekend of football. So it should be a lot of fun. Hope all of you guys have a great weekend, and just it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of weeks churn out and see who the Buccaneers get as coaches. And that will give us a better understanding of if there is going to be change as far as like personnel and what we look for. We're starting to do some draft coverage here at Real Bucs Talk. So going to get into that and get that going for our Substack and also our YouTube. So be sure to check that out, and appreciate every single one of you, as always, just letting me hop on here and talk football with you all.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's about to be, I know it's the off season, but it's about to be your in season. You know, Real Bucs Talk is just getting going here on the
I was just going to say that's a true comment right there. I'm actually going to go look at Cassius Howell from Texas A&M and get a video out for that. So there you go. A little sneak peek right there.
we always share, your stuff, your content over there. So we'll make sure to share it on our channel. And although everybody probably knows Real Bucs Talk, but if not, come to the Buccateers. We'll share all the film breakdown, all the good stuff there from the Great Plus. And Mark, tell Mark hello. He's awesome as well. So there we go. Good stuff there from Plus. We appreciate you joining. Sorry it was a little later. Wasn't sure if audio glitch was joining or not. But Zach, what's you final word? I know you probably don't have a breadwinner, but if you do, throw it out there. If not, that's cool too.
No, the only thing I can say about bread is that it's delicious, but I don't have a bet. No, I would like to do some film study. Plus, I would like to get into that. I wanted to kind of look at this season and go game by game and see who was really at fault for the falter down the stretch. Was it the offense or was it the defense? Or was it a combination of both, and really kind of break it down? So I might be reaching out to you for some pointers and some tips on how to do that at some point, because I think there's a good conversation in there. I know I got into an argument on Twitter the other day because I said they both sucked equally, and that's why they were so bad. And they were putting it all on the offense. So I'd like to get some data to kind of go with that argument. But I'm also really looking forward to your draft coverage. And if you had to pick at 15 right now today, who would you take?
I mean, the obvious choice is probably Sonny Styles, the linebacker out of Ohio State. I think you have to look at, edge rusher if potentially there. I think defensive tackle is an underrated potential pick. So it's going to be someone in the front seven. I wouldn't rule out corner as well. I know you picked 2 corners last year, but I wouldn't rule out if a top outside corner is there. That's something they could look at. I think hopefully we can rule out offensive players this year, but you just never know. You never know. It really depends on who's available. But if I had to take a guess, it would be Sonny Styles.
We're gonna draft an Ohio State wide receiver at pick 15. Calling it now. No, I'm just
can we stop with the tight end picks from Oregon?
Yeah.
Sadiq, guys.
Yeah, I mean, these. I'm going to bite my tongue now before I say something stupid, but good God, stop it. Just stop it. I mean, enough's enough of some of these fans. I'm going to go with San Fran plus 7.5 for my breadwinner. I think they hang in there. I don't know if they win, but I think they lose by less than a touchdown if they do ultimately lose. So I'm bumping the 7. Yeah, I agree. Plus, close game. 20 would win you 17 on this. I think a half point is worth a $3 loss there. So I'm bumping it to 7.5 from the 7. And all I can say is, Bucs fans, hold the line. We will find out. Our coaching staff fill in. Come this week. Breathe. See what happens. And hold out hope for special teams, offense, and the rest of the assistants. Joey, take us home. Final word. And breadwinner David Zussman. If the Bucs pick a tight end, I'm auditioning for a front office role next year. That's all I could say.
Yeah, I mean, before my final word on my pick, the tight end class was too good this year, so they're down for a down year now. We had Warren, we had Loveland, a couple others really played well. There was 4 tight ends in this class who really stepped up.
Fannin on the Browns.
Yeah, there's another one, and there was even one more. So look for a down year maybe in the tight end class, but I'm going to say this, enjoy it. It sounds kind of crazy because there's still a lot of outside stadiums, but by 2030, there's going to be so many damn domes around the world. All of these games are under 50 degrees this weekend, and a couple could have snow. That's what football is about. Once they make it Pee Wee League by 2030 and 25 teams have domes outside of the nice weather, you're not going to see this as much as you are now. So really enjoy that. I just think it's crucial. Nothing better than seeing a little white snowfall on the ground for a playoff football game and then everybody going at it. And then my pick is going to be Shakir over 4.5 receptions is minus 130 for Buffalo. He had 12 catches last week. Buffalo is down a lot of wideouts right now. I know Brandon Cooks had a good game, and Keon Coleman, who disappeared the whole season, will be active amongst a couple others, but Shakir is the main target for Josh Allen when he gets in trouble, and he'll be in the slot. So it's most of the time. So it's not like Surtain will always be there. So give me Shakir over 4.5 receptions at minus 130.
And last little developmenting story here for the program. Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, he's our lead NFL insider for CBS Sports, just put out minutes ago the Atlanta Falcons are Rooney Rule compliant and are able to hire a head coach when they so desire to. With Stefanski meeting with the team today for the second time, Atlanta may be the next team to watch to hire a coach. So it seems like Stefanski and Atlanta is moving quickly, which makes sense, right? Matt Ryan is a QB leading their ops now, and they want a veteran guy, and they want to fix Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins. They're investing a lot into that QB room. So, fellas, it looks like that's one to watch. Watch all weekend of football. Joey Nips, Pless, Bucs by 30, J-Lo, and myself. We had a phenomenal time here on the Buccateers. We'll see you Monday. Remember, Ben Chukwuma, the Buccaneers offensive lineman, comes on the program this Monday on Martin Luther King Day, noon Eastern special at lunchtime there. And remember, Real Bucs Talk, great film studies coming your way this week as well. We'll be back on Monday with the great Ben Chukwuma, everybody. Have a great, safe weekend. Enjoy the pigskin, enjoy the football, and fire the damn cannon. See you guys on Monday. Bro, we'll put it like that. What's it like? I was actually there in attendance in Cleveland for Cove's first career NFL touchdown, which was awesome. And,
Awesome.
It was a great game. You could hear me on camera. I was just screaming, "Say it ain't so, Cove! Say it ain't so!" Sadly, from there, the game kind of went off the rails a little. That was the last high moment of that game, but it was a great game. Overtime loss, fun time. But how was that moment for you? Seeing the first, whether it was on TV, in person, wherever you were, seeing his first NFL touchdown. How was that?
Well, dude, I mean, we were at home because it was a away game. We don't travel to a lot of the away games because we can get into that later. But, to watch that and to think I wished I was there live. So to have your video was so cool. And just that, this is so cool. I mean, that was so cool for us. Catching it from Tom Brady, right? Like he's got the ball yet. I mean, first NFL touchdown means a lot, right? I mean, as a dad, that's so cool to see. And it's just, it was fun to watch. And, it didn't have the outcome we wanted, but still the same. What a memory! What a memory to have, right? So,
and honestly,
cool.
those. One of the best guests ever, the Buccateers in the house. You guys hear him on Tampa radio all the time. He's one of the best in the business. My favorite personal in the business. That's why I'm elated tonight. Growing up in the Chicago area, you're used to sports radio. That's what gets me through the day. So this man does help get me through the day, I will say, with the Pat and Aaron show at work. Nothing like it. So it's incredible. It looks like we got Stunna bumbling in. I'm Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like you got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
And he was trying to pull me in big time. And then I was like, hey, nothing's happened with Indianapolis yet. Like, I really want to give Indy a chance. And then also I talked to Cody Gruden. Once he took over Rich McCann, I'm still like, well, look, I was like, y'all just give me the opportunity to explore free agency, see what's going on, and then can I make us do it.
All right, everyone, you are tuned into the Buccateers, a wide receiver, Kalen Geiger, and we are about to have a great pod. This is the Buccateers. You're tapped in, and here we go.